And we're live.
Yay!
Mike, his mic's out.
Your mic's out? Dang.
Yeah, Bunny does this every time now.
Well, it's because if I don't do that, then you'll hear me breathing during the intro.
Oh,
That'll
okay.
probably make it more scary.
Since you don't have it uploaded to the site, you're just playing it off another source. Then it doesn't mute the mics automatically. So that's
I feel that.
So that's on you. That's on you. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, your fault, Bunny.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I deny. I deny. Anyway,
Okay,
so we're gonna do
Peter.
cryptids today, right? Cryptids.
Ooh.
So
That's what you guys
got,
wanted. We asked you guys what you wanted last week.
that was the idea. Do we have anybody in the chat show up? Huh? Oh, we got
Yeah.
Eastland Burkholder as usual. Hey, Eastland.
Yo,
What's
What's
up,
going
dude?
on?
Yeah, pass a pencil, please. All right. Gotcha. Anyway, we made a decision that we weren't going to go squatching today because Sasquatch is way too oversaturated everywhere. So we're going to
Sasquatch is a bitch.
we're going to try to get hit on some more obscure ones today. Ones that aren't a religious, entity or something. Yeah, whatever. You don't have entire conferences of people worshiping it, so yeah. Of course, I found out with mine that there is a festival and there is a museum and there is a statue. So
People worship Sasquatch.
And a movie. And a movie.
oh, and a
What?
movie, yeah, and a
That is
movie,
weird.
and a comic book. I didn't dig it out though. I got a comic. So Joe Ball, Mothman, something other conspiracy, I think. But anyway, so we're gonna skunk
Skunk
ape is
ape.
in Everglades. The skunk ape. Oh man, probably should
Yeah,
look
the
that one
Florida
up.
skunk ape.
Yeah, I've heard of it. But yeah, there's so many
Just
things
a
that stink
Bigfoot
in the
down
Florida
south.
swamps. I don't. So many things stink in the Florida swamp. I'm not entirely sure. But they say it's a stench that like very distinctive, and that once you smell it, you'll never get it out of your nose. So, yippee
That
skippy. Evidently, it's a cryptid with a lot of bo. Anyway, in fiction, the Sasquatch was living in caves and cities or made by high-tech aliens. I don't even know what that is. Anyway,
What's he talking about?
I don't know. I haven't heard of this, but it is what it is. Yeah.
I did hear stories of like UFOs dropping off Bigfoots. Like they're in the they're just hanging out, in the woods or whatever, and then all of a sudden they see like a UFO and like a beam of light comes out, and then all of a sudden, there's a fucking 8-foot Bigfoot just appearing right there, and it seems as though the UFO dropped them off.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe these
Well,
are alien pets. You know what I mean? Who knows what the hell they are?
Well, there is like a question. Why did the lore around Sasquatch raise up independently than the lore around Yeti, which is almost the exact same thing?
True.
And two different cultures from two different ends of the earth that don't talk to each other very much. But the Native Americans talk of Sasquatch, and I think in particular the Tibetans talk about Yetis. So I mean that's two entirely different cultures talking about roughly the same creatures. So might be something to that. I don't know.
And there's people that say they shot a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch, and then they say that it disappears in like a flash of light or whatever. It doesn't affect them or whatever. You know what I mean? That maybe these are like some kind of interdimensional creatures or something else. You know what I mean?
Well, well, when you consider we've had a Squatch sighting near me, and but the guy when they stuck the mic in his face, I'm like, I think this guy might be sampling his own product.
That'll make a lot of sense.
Yeah, but yeah, I got a name for him and everything. There's just somebody carved a statue over there. It's kind of funny. Um, one other creature, since we agreed we're not going to talk much about Sasquatch, a creature who's also got he's appeared on totem poles and appeared on carvings and appeared in the lore of just about every major North American indigenous tribe. It's called the Thunderbird.
True.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
A good one.
Yeah, it's appeared on both in lore almost all the way across the United States, and these tribes were very distinctly different from each other, but somehow they came up with the same religious figure, and the Thunderbird is not a phoenix. The Thunderbird is an actual entity of justice or something. They hear the thunder roll, and then they're like wondering who's guilty, basically. But it's an entity that's appeared in like Algonquin, all the way over to like Pacific Northwest, and also into Canada. But it's appeared on totem poles, it's appeared on carvings, it's appeared on verbal lore. And it's one of the only things that's passed from tribe to tribe to tribe. Most of them are so individualized that they don't have any crossover except for maybe buffalo lore or something like that in the plains. But yeah, so the Thunderbird is a very interesting figure. And it's not a phoenix. People keep conflating the two, but it's definitely not a phoenix. It has the death and rebirth thing, but that's the only thing they have in common.
I didn't even know that it had a death and rebirth theme.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, the Thunderbird is, the sightings of those, like pterodactyl type creatures are saying that, some of them may have survived and still are out there. There's some videos out there, some footage of these creatures just soaring by, just look up in the sky one day and you see one of these things. It's like something out of like Jurassic Park or something,
Right.
That's
right.
true.
There's actually a pterodactyl that was found like sealed in rock in a cave, and they uncovered it accidentally. And this was like back in the late 1800s, and it once they freed it from the rock, it like walked a few steps, squawked, and died. But anyway, the sucker was like had all the markings and all the aspects of a pterodactyl. So now I don't know if somebody stuffed it or whatever happened to it after that point. I just read the story back when I was a teenager or something. But yeah, and it was like verified to be by paleontologists to be a pterodactyl. So
That's awesome.
So I mean, I don't think the Earth is as old as they say it is. I think we're a lot closer to the dinosaur times than they would have us believe. The Loch Ness monster might be a pterosaur.
Yes.
Yeah, people have been saying that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it has
actually.
Right. There is something in the Loch Ness, but they can't determine because the water is so peaty that you can't see your hand in front of your face when you stick it under the surface. I mean, it's almost impossible to see what's under there. But the Loch Ness is actually made by fissures in the ground, So there's no telling how many caves and there are underneath there. So that's been the problem.
What's
I live
up,
at the
Woodrow?
base of the. What's that?
Oh, sorry, I said welcome, Woodrow.
Yeah, welcome,
hey.
Woodrow. Base of the superstition is a cauldron of the thunder gods. Ah, okay, cool, man. Yeah, there's a lot of lore in Arizona. Arizona has a lot of stuff out in those the rocks out there, the red rocks. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that's the few obscure ones that I don't hear discussed very often. I mean, Loch Ness gets discussed from time to time, but people pretty much at this point, I don't think there's been a sighting for quite some time now. So that's kind of died down somewhat.
For which one? Champ?
Loch Ness.
There's different ones. I think there's been some sightings in the last few years, but nothing like this year or anything, or last like maybe 2-3 years. I'd have to look it up, but who knows what the hell they're looking at though? It could be like a log or whatever, you know what I mean, or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
People.
Well, I mean, there's you see some pretty significant like extension of the neck and definitely a head on top of it, you know. Granted, I mean, you know, it's possible, conceivable somebody faked it. I don't know, but you know, all these things are. The thing about cryptids that make them so intriguing is the fact that there's so scant information. Most of it's just eyewitness accounts, and if there is photographic evidence or like art or lore that backs it up, you know, there's nothing really concrete. There's nothing like, oh, you know, here's a picture of one eating somebody in the middle of downtown New York. Oh, okay, I guess they do live, you know. You know? I mean, it'd be, you know, that'd be easier, but you know, most of the time, do not disrespect me. I won't disrespect you. Okay, good to know. Anyway, but yeah, that's the intrigue of cryptids. The reason why people spend their whole entire life looking for the money shot, you know, or the evidence, you know. There was like a show on, I think it was the Discovery, that was like looking for the unexplained or something like that. And these people never saw anything. They never saw any damn thing. They just like wandered around the woods for like an hour. I heard a Sasquatch, you know. So, yeah, it is what, you know. I think there was a tuft of fur one time. I don't know.
They don't want to be seen.
Well, I mean, these cryptids, man, they've hiding in plain sight. I mean, the 656 guys kind of had a theory that they all knew each other, you know. They have like a book out, a comic book out. It looks really good. I just never backed it. But it was basically there's like a network of cryptids that know each other, you know. People can claim there's bears in this part of Mississippi, but there's probably never saw the Mothman either. Nope. Well, that's a pretty good segue if you want me to go in my Mothman stuff.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. First of all, the statues in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Okay. But the Mothman seems to have appeared in West Virginia folklore, but it was seen in Point Pleasant area from November 15th, 1966 to December 15th, 1967. First paper, the Point Pleasant Register, say that 10 times fast. They posted a article called November 16th, 1966, called "Couple See Man-Sized Bird Creature Something?" ? But it was introduced to a wider audience by Gray Baker in 1970, later popularized by John Keel in a 1975 book called The Mothman Prophecies, claiming these were supernatural events related to the sightings in connection to the collapse of the Silver Bridge, which was like on the border between West Virginia and Kentucky, I think. But it was later adapted into a 2002 film starring Richard Gere. And the name probably came from a Batman villain called Killer Moth, who there was a Batman comic out about that same time, proclaiming a killer moth. And so I think some people think that's where the name came from. But the theory is really interesting because there is a area in that's a World War II munitions plant they call the TNT area. That's in that particular part of West Virginia. It's built directly into the mountain, and it's never. I don't think it's ever been decommissioned properly. So people have speculated that there's been like a leak into the groundwater that's caused like some like I don't know mutations in the area or something. But wildlife biologist Robert L. Smith of West Virginia University told reporters that description sightings all fit the sandhill crane, a large American crane almost as tall as a man with a 7-foot wingspan, featuring circles of reddish coloring around the eyes. The bird may have wandered in migration route, therefore was unrecognized at first because it's not native to the region. And if you shine a light in any animal's eyes, you get what? Eye shine. So,
Sure.
So I mean, but there's a connection though. The following December 15th, 1967 collapse of the Silver Bridge and the death of 46 people is a pretty serious incident. It gave rise to the legend and connected to the Mothman sightings and to the bridge collapse. So Mothman Prophecies in major was not 2002 with Richard Gere. So it is what it is. But so yeah, there's a statue. I found a statue. I found there's a festival, and there's a museum.
When is that? In the summer?
Hold on one second. Let me find it. The festival.
It's in Point Pleasant, right?
Yeah, it's Point Pleasant, September 17th and 18th of every year.
Next month.
So,
Nice.
Yep, they have a Mothman app. But they have they've rolled things over from the COVID era, and they're finally opening it back up. So they got bus tours to the TNT site. They got vendors, live bands, guest speakers, festival facts, and the Mothman Museum. It's all located in Point Pleasant. So I guess if you're going to yeah. Remember, humans are really bad at judging size and distance from them. Yep. That's agreed. But anyway, I think the whole entire connection to the Silver Bridge incident is really fascinating. There were like a series of phone calls made that had like an eerie voice that like warned that something was going to happen, and people for years have said that bridge needed work, and because of the poor leadership, it never really got addressed because people were talking about the drive over the bridge and things will fall out of the bridge.
Shit. I don't want to go over that bridge.
Well, 46 people died that night. It collapsed, so there was plenty of traffic across it, So it is what it is. I think it was like on a main road between West Virginia and Kentucky, and I think the states never could agree on who was supposed to keep it up, and because of that, the work didn't get done on it, and so I think that's happened multiple times in history where a apparatus between two states fell into disrepair because the states couldn't agree whose responsibility it was. So it is what it is.
Just leave it up then. Hopefully it'll hold up.
Exactly. Well, it didn't hold up in 1967, and supposedly the sightings ended after that, after the bridge collapse. That's why people think there was a connection to it. I don't know.
Oh, dang.
But yeah, so if you're interested in the Mothman, Point Pleasant, West Virginia is the place to go. So
Hollow Earth conspiracies. That's another episode right there.
yeah, that's another episode. We'll get it one of these days.
Admiral Byrd and his account that he went into the Middle Earth or whatever and saw dinosaurs and all kinds of crazy shit. Yeah.
Well,
We'll do it sometime.
I think H.G. Wells came up with that, the journey to the middle of the earth before Admiral Byrd went up there. So, who's to say? I'll be back with another account. I don't know. Bent from some hemp. Yeah. Obviously, he's not typing very well. I don't know what he's saying. Anyway, so that's my research. Anybody else got? You want to go with New Jersey Devil there, Aaron?
First of all, you're getting his name wrong.
I'm getting the name wrong. Okay.
Yeah. So, if you're from Jersey, you just say the Jersey Devil.
Oh, the Jersey Devil.
Gotcha. See, he sounds less stupid that way. Nah. But the Jersey Devil is actually a pretty famous legend, and it dates all the way back to, I believe it was the 1530s, and pretty much in this town, in this huge plot of land that's 1.1 million acres, is called the Pine Barrens, and in it they have this legend called the Jersey Devil. Now, originally, the legend goes like this: there was this woman called Mrs. Leeds, and there's different origins. People can't quite figure out which one's which. It's either that she was the wife of an abusive husband, or she was a witch or something like that. And pretty much, she was the mother of 12 children, and when she was expecting a third child, the legend splits off. The 13th. Yes, the 13th. Yeah. So the legend splits off again. So either she suspected her husband of cheating, or she just didn't want to go through another childbirth. So she prayed and said, pretty much in her own words, she said, "Please let this one be a devil." So when the baby is born, everything seems perfect. The baby looks like an actual fucking baby. But moments later, the baby shifts and morphs and deforms into this horrendous creature. It has it has freaking a goat-like face, a serpentine-like neck, and it has hooves and claws and freaking bat-like wings. And it's apparently it's supposed to have like either a snake-like tail or a tail like a dragon. And this can I curse in this show?
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah! So this motherfucker, they are so terrified of its appearance, and of course, because you're like is this like the Times of the Pilgrims bunny? Would you know about that?
Yeah, it's pretty far back.
Okay, yeah. So this is like the Times of the Pilgrims, so they don't take that shit lightly.
No.
So naturally, the thing that you would do if your baby turned out to be like a spawn of Satan, and that's another thing that they think it was, a spawn of Satan. They locked this motherfucker up in the basement, and they mistreat it. They barely feed it or whatnot. And I guess they're hoping for it to die. So after a while, either Mrs. Leeds forgets to lock the basement, or it somehow managed to break free of its chains, and it slaughters everyone in the family, including the 12 children that were there. And it before I think it was the authorities or the other townspeople could come, it flies through the chimney with its bat-like wings, and it screeches into the night. And its screech is actually the most famous thing about the creature, because it sounds like a blood-curdling child screaming. It's freaking terrifying. And I think there's actually actual videos that you can see online of like hearing the screech. And there's another throughout history, the Jersey Devil has had a few sightings. One of which is very similar to the Mothman, of which these guys were driving through the Pine Barrens, and then all of a sudden they see a creature down the road, and it seems like hunched over and everything. But as soon as they get closer, it stands up, and it's about, I'd say, let me actually look this up. Jersey Devil height, because it's pretty tall. It is. Oh no, not the coaster, blind ass. Hold up, Jersey Devil creature. I forgot there was we have a coaster. He is about it varies, but it varies from about 3 feet to more than 7 feet. So they saw the 7-foot one, and as soon as they got closer, they saw stand up. It spread its wings. It did its screech, and then it flew off, and that was pretty terrifying. Oof.
I got a video that kind of recaps what he's saying and adds a little bit more to it.
Yes. Oh, please
play it, baby.
All right.
Places in the forest are scorched. Strange tracks are found round about.
It's a story Angus Cress Gillespie, a professor in Rutgers American Studies Department, has told hundreds of times. The legend of Mrs. Leeds, her family in the Pine Barrens, and the Jersey Devil. It's said that in 1735, Mother Leeds was pregnant with her 13th child. Her husband Daniel, though a good provider, was an uninvolved father.
So the entire burden of taking care of the kids fell on Jane Leeds. The cooking, the cleaning, chopping wood.
She couldn't handle another addition.
In a moment of perhaps understandable weakness, she said, "I hope this one's not a child. Let this one be a devil."
When the baby arrived, everything seemed normal, at first.
But then something went terribly wrong. In the space of less than 20 minutes, the baby grew to the size of 2 full-grown men.
He developed coal-red eyes and a horse's head, bat wings, goat feet, and serpentine tail.
And then unexpectedly, with one swipe of his right arm, he slit the throat of the midwife and attendants.
Leaving carnage in his wake, the Jersey Devil flew up the chimney and escaped into the Pine Barrens, where he's said to have terrorized the people ever since.
Most states, there's a state horse, a state bird, a state flower. As far as I know, New Jersey is unique to have a state monster.
Gillespie is a folklorist, and he's quick to explain that the Jersey Devil isn't a once-upon-a-time kind of tale. It's a legend.
Folktale implies that it's fiction.
Do you think it's true?
I try to keep an open mind.
There was a rash of sightings in 1909. And in the oral tradition of folklore, Gillespie's been given first-hand accounts by people who say they've seen the monster or know someone who has. But he says, as a folklorist, it's his job to remain agnostic.
When I see reports of sightings, my initial gut reaction would be skeptical. I mean, is this photoshopped? How reliable is the witness?
The latest sighting was just 2 weeks ago.
I mean, the legend is very much alive, and these sightings sort of prove that.
So as Gillespie tells it,
when you're walking through the Pine Barrens of South Jersey, listen carefully as the wind comes off the ocean through the pines. Old Mother Leeds.
And if you hear a twig crack behind you, beware. It could be, you know who.
Joe Mama.
Well, can I point out that they have a hockey team?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't hear about that.
Totally
New Jersey Devils. New Jersey Devils. Yeah.
It's a wonder that
most people don't make that connection, but yeah, the Jersey Devils is named for him. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
they've embraced it, man.
Yeah, true. If only they had the mascot look like him. It's literally just a
they don't. They got like a
no. You mean
devil
the Blue
tail
Devils?
wrapped around, but they don't have the.
Oh, like you mean the Blue Devils, right?
No, Jersey Devils. They're a hockey team. They've won the Stanley Cup multiple times. Yeah, they're pretty big.
Oh yeah, those guys.
Yeah, those guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got something similar. In North Carolina, there's a place called Kill Devil Hills, and it's called the Devil's Stomping Ground, and there's like legends all about that place. But there's been like hoof prints, burning hoof prints appear. I don't know I didn't really look up the lore, but it just like that brought that to mind. But it's called Kill Devil Hills, so I imagine that there's a lore about the place,
That actually sounds cool.
Yeah, we've also got a Bat Cave, North Carolina, so there you go, right?
There is a Bat Cave one? I didn't know
There's
that.
a Bat Cave, North Carolina.
Okay, I was going to show you guys this other monster that you weren't familiar with, this other cryptid.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
And that is the Flatwoods monster.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, no problem.
Let me zoom in a little bit. It's kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
There we go. It happened in the town of Flatwoods, which is in West Virginia.
Oh,
and
okay.
This happened in 1952, in September, with these kids ran into this. I don't know if you want to call it an alien, a cryptid, a creature, but that chair right there is basically what they saw. It's kind of odd looking. Let me show you some more pictures here. This is the first drawing that they drew of it. I think they believe the next day they drew it out, what it looked like. That's one creepy looking thing, man.
Dude, tell me about it.
And it had like smoke coming out of it, and it was kind of looked like it was floating, like it was in like a garbage can, like floating in some kind of this vehicle that was suspended in the air a few feet, and then it gave off this bad odor. And multiple children saw it, and some people brushed it off as, they saw it was a raccoon. Yeah, I mean, and how do you misidentify a raccoon to this thing? You know what I mean? It looks nothing like it.
Yeah.
And they just ran, and got the hell out of there. Who's to blame? I wouldn't blame them. You know what I mean? I wouldn't stick around either.
No. Wow.
There's some more drawings, and all the kids were separated, and they all drew their own drawing of what they saw that night, and they all came up with the similar, the exact same thing, pretty much. It's just so bizarre.
You're telling me, I got scared.
So you found a way to make this about aliens again, huh?
Yeah, it couldn't.
No one knows what it is.
Yeah. All right. I got you.
I think we need to start calling him Dale.
Yeah. Dale.
From King of the Hill.
Oh, that's right. Dale. Right. Yeah.
See, it stinks. You can see the kid plugging his nose.
Right.
Oh, no. Yeah, whoever drew that is good.
Yeah. Well, they certainly understand perspective.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting that occurred before the Mothman thing started up in Point Pleasant, so in the same state. So, that's occurred before Mothman. So I don't know.
Oh, what's up?
Damn right. Vince, what's up, Vince? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting that these communities, like, they'll take that's their identity. Like, the place where the Squatch was sighted around here, it's called Nebo, and that's the only not Nebo, Kaiser, and that's the only thing in it. It's like that one sighting that they've had. Hey, Shadowhawk, what's up, dude?
Yo,
Yeah, his post got lost with all these robots are coming in, all these
that's what I
bots.
was saying. Got all these
Yeah.
high bots, man. All
Yeah. It's conspiracy. The government's sending all these bots to our channel.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Yeah, well, I guess we're talking about some stuff that they probably don't want talked about, but it is what it is. Yeah, yeah. I think it's interesting. Some of the cryptids, like the Lila Rona from the South America,
yeah.
the crying mother, who steals kids out of their beds, and they find them like drowned in the river or something like that.
True.
That's always been creepy. The Chupacabra.
The Chupacabra. That's what you want to get into.
That one seems to have a lot of backing information to it. That critter's, you know, you hear about it popping up from a lot of sources. That's in South America, so you know they're big on lore down there.
Yeah.
I think there's there's like a Vietnamese demon that sucks brains out. Something slang. I can't remember the exact name of it, but that was pretty gruesome. But I mean, there's cryptids all across the planet. You know, everybody's got one. What's that?
It sucks out your brains.
Yeah, it's literally the name is literally brain sucker in the Vietnamese tongue. Let me see. It won't be. It's a pretty easy. Yep. Oh. Yep.
What are you looking for?
I'm just gonna look up the actual name. I should have done that ahead of time. I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're fine. In the meantime, I think there's this one monster, I think in the Gobi Desert or something, called the Mongolian Death Worm.
Oh, really?
What's up, Sim?
Hey, man. What's up?
Yo.
Well, you guys ever watched that show Grimm?
No,
Yes.
What is that?
It was a show where there's like this generational thing where this guy is like this family is like tasked to basically fight against the cryptids essentially, and all of these mythologies seem to pop up on that show, but it's called the Grimm is what it's called, and it's a really interesting show. It's got, you want to talk about cryptids?
Grimm.
Grimm, yeah.
Yes,
Grimm.
I love that show, man.
Yeah. You talk about cryptids. If you love cryptids, that's the show, man. Don't hate the player, hate the game. All right, Kokoshiko. What I got, man? Let me see. It's Oswang is the name of it. It's an Oswang. Yeah.
Speaking of Chupacabra, I was gonna play this video.
All right, go ahead, man. Let's play it.
Hello again, weary traveller, and welcome back to Cryptid Central. In this video, we're going to be talking about a particularly bloodthirsty cryptid, the Chupacabra. The Chupacabra is a legendary South American cryptid and is known to inhabit the small island country of Puerto Rico. The name Chupacabra, when translated into English, literally means goat sucker, which comes from the animal's vampiric traits. The Chupacabra is said to attack, kill, and then drink the blood of livestock, with a particular fondness for the blood of goats. According to eyewitness reports, the Chupacabra is said to be a reptile-like creature with leathery or scaly greenish-grey skin and sharp spines or quills running from its neck to the base of its tail. It is said to be approximately 3 to 4 feet high and can also stand and hop in a kangaroo-like fashion. Another common description of the Chupacabra is that of a strange breed of hairless wild dog. This form of Chupacabra has a pronounced spinal ridge, unusually large eye sockets, and has long, sharp fangs and claws. Unlike any known predator species, the Chupacabra is said to drain all of its victims' blood, usually through 2 or 3 puncture wounds generally found on the prey item's throat or chest. The Chupacabra has also been known to remove the organs of its prey as well. The Chupacabra is a particularly elusive cryptid, as unlike Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster, there are no known photographs of the creature. Instead, the Chupacabra is known mostly through eyewitness sightings, and of course, the bloody trail of dead livestock left in its wake. Eyewitness sightings tend to be claimed in Puerto Rico, but have also been reported as far north as Maine in the United States, as far south as Chile, and there have even been sightings outside of the Americas in countries like Russia and the Philippines. In 1995, the name Chupacabra was coined by Puerto Rican radio DJ Silverio Perez while commenting on the recently reported attacks on his radio show. The first reported attack, eventually attributed to the Chupacabra, occurred in March 1995 in Puerto Rico. 8 sheep were discovered dead, and each with 3 puncture wounds in the chest area. All 8 sheep were completely drained of their blood. A few months later, in August, an eyewitness named Madeline Tolentino from the Puerto Rican town of Canavanas witnessed the creature. It was during this month that as many as 150 farm animals and pets were reportedly killed by the beast. Shortly after the first reported incidents in Puerto Rico, animal deaths were reported all across Central and South America, in countries such as Argentina, Bolivia, Chile, Colombia, Honduras, Panama, Peru, Brazil, and Mexico. All had the same 3 puncture wounds, and all were drained of their blood. In October and December 2018, there came many reports of suspected chupacabras in Manipur, India. Many domestic animals and poultry were killed in a suspicious manner similar to other chupacabra attacks, and several people reported that they had seen chupacabras, hinting at the fact that this unknown species of creature could also inhabit Asia as well as the Americas.
Well, yeah, that's incredible.
Well, there's different kinds of chupacabras. At first, they were like these, kind of like little alien graves that were kind of hunched over, and they had like these scales on their back and these glowing eyes, and they kind of look like they kind of stand like a kangaroo, like and they would like be jumping around and like going after the farmers' chickens or whatever in Puerto Rico. Then later on, they're saying the chupacabra is now this other creature. There's been people that spotted this. Even there was a famous video that came out from this police cam footage where he was chasing this guy in Texas was chasing this thing, and they're saying, "Oh, it's just a dog with mange or whatever. It's not a chupacabra." But these things look weird, you know, or doesn't have any fur, and that's why, you know what I mean? It looks weird.
True.
Right.
But there's this couple that actually caught a chupacabra, one of those canine-looking chupacabras, not the alien-looking ones. I was going to show this clip, but it's pretty strange.
Shoot.
Get it queued up here. But I'm more interested in the alien-looking chupacabras than these. It's probably just an unknown species or a mixture of.
You would.
Huh?
I said you would be more interested in the alien looking ones.
Yeah.
Uh,
But check out this clip here.
In the backwoods of South Texas, you never know what might be lurking around the corner or in your tree.
And he saw this strange animal sitting up here eating corn.
In Ratcliffe, a small town in DeWitt County, residents are certain they found the mythical, despicable Chupacabra. And this time, it's alive. Jackie Stock says her husband caught the creature Sunday night.
He called me to come and look, and I said, Bubba, that looks like a baby Chupacabra.
With its hairless back, large claws, countless teeth, and ferocious growl, many would say this animal fits the bill.
You know, I hunted coons, 20 years with dogs and all that, and I ain't never seen nothing look like that right there.
Parma says one of the big signs it's not a raccoon is its growl.
Coon don't make that noise, or a possum. What makes that noise? I guess Chupacabra does. I don't know.
Here in DeWitt County, most people are convinced this is the elusive Chupacabra, but what do wildlife experts have to say?
The animal in the cage, as best I can tell from the view, was some form of a small canine.
Brent Ortego, a biologist with Texas Parks and Wildlife, says a canine can include a coyote, dog, or even a fox. He says the animal most likely has mange, which has caused it to lose its hair. But as for a Chupacabra, well, he thinks otherwise.
It's never been.
Do you see a dog eat like that before?
To be a unique species.
No.
Nah, not really.
Something out there that allegedly either cause harm or threaten to cause harm to people or their livestock.
Chupacabra or not, right now this little guy is staying at the Stock household, living off a diet of cat food and corn. At least until someone can find out what it really is.
We never seen anything like that on our place before.
In Ratcliffe, I'm Janelle Bluta, KAVU News.
poor guy. Bless his heart.
I would charge people to see him.
Ah,
Little,
of course you would.
thing
Of course
going.
you would.
Yeah, I take Cash App. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Looks like you blocked our bot. Finally, I mean,
Yeah.
I blocked a bunch of them. I was blocking them the whole video. I blocked about 20 of them.
Yeah, I don't know
Wow.
what that guy deal is.
They're not coming from my YouTube because I have it so only subscribers can comment. So I don't know where they're coming from.
It's weird.
they're
because-
probably coming from Facebook.
Yeah,
Probably, most likely.
it's weird because they're all pot related, so they must
Yeah.
not like you.
Well, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Might be Greg Levitra.
Nah, I don't think that he'd be able to do that.
Well, yeah, he smokes too much pot to barely functions as a human being. Let's looking up the skunk ape. This is
My father?
evidently a thing in Florida.
Yep,
it's
skunk ape.
yeah, it's considered a cousin of the Bigfoot, but shorter. But it's described as a bipedal ape-like creature, 5 to 7 feet tall, covered in mottled brownish red fur. Named for its foul odor, also this being described as being similar to a skunk. But it's also been recorded as appearing in Florida, Georgia, and Alabama folklore since European settlers first occupied the region. 1818, newspapers reported a story from what's now Apalachicola, Florida. that spoke of a man-sized monkey raiding food stores and stalking fishermen along the shore. Seminole culture includes stories of foul-smelling, physically powerful, secretive creature called the Esti Kapkaki. I think a name which roughly translates to cannibal giant. 1942, man in Suwannee County reported a similar creature rushing out from the brush line while he's driving down an isolated road. It's alleged to have grabbed into his vehicle and beat the running board and door for a half a minute before departing. So there's also a sighting in Barden in Putnam County, Florida. Beginning in 1940s, number of alleged sightings of a creature that became known as the Barden Booger. So there's several pictures and everything, but yeah, evidently this is a thing in Florida, so I did not know. But in popular culture, it's been known, widely adopted across Florida as unofficial mascot for wilderness and rural culture. It's including appearing in roadside businesses, attractions, television commercials, and on signs. But during the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, several Florida businesses used the skunk apes referred foul smell to promote social distancing.
Wow.
They would do that.
Blaming it on
Yeah.
the weather.
I don't know. I mean, Florida never shut down, so I guess that social distancing was an important thing down there. So
I saw a commercial for Wyoming. It said that we've been social distancing for like 130 something years, whatever. We don't have to do that here.
Well, there's nothing there's nothing close to each other in Wisconsin.
Wyoming.
Wyoming. Yeah, it's all distance apart from each other. But there's a few cryptids that seem to like pop to the top of the pile. The sightings seem to be like pretty consistent across the board. There's a lot of lake monsters. I was looking up this list of cryptids, and there's a ton of lake monsters, and they all look roughly the same. So, if there's a strain of dinosaurs that are still existent on the same, day that we're here, then I guess that would explain it. But the whole Sasquatch thing, I mean, that's all over the place, all across the planet. There's been sightings of these ape-like humanoids, real tall ape-like humanoids walking around. Different names, but there seems to be like a commonality. It's like the Thunderbird legends that seem to have commonality between the Native American tribes from coast to coast. When you consider how distant our coasts are from each other, we're one of the longest land masses in the world. And the fact that Native Americans over here with no way of talking to each other have the exact same legend as Native Americans on the other coast. It's pretty significant, There must be something to it. I mean, it's a pterodactyl. Pterodactyls were still around, and when these legends were formed, who knows? I mean, but that's the interesting thing about this cryptid lore. Once you go down the rabbit hole, there's a lot of a lot of meat there,
Oh yeah.
You can keep going. There's a giant snake in the Amazon that's been viewed or spied. I think the movie Python was made off of it or something. Anaconda. Anaconda's the name of the movie.
Anaconda.
Yeah. He's back anyway. But there's evidently like a giant snake in lore down there. It's pretty incredible. But it's just like a commonality to a lot of these things. And speaking of cryptids, the giant kraken that's occasionally, there's ships that disappear, and they'll find like metal with big sucker marks on it about this, that big around or something,
Oh
yeah. It's not just for the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I mean, they've been reported all throughout history, and we know for a fact that there are some squid out there that are pretty darn large.
Definitely.
But yeah, you'll find something like a big blue whale with a big gigantic sucker mark on it. So I don't know. Well, we haven't explored the ocean as far as
who the hell knows what's down there?
Yeah, there's really no telling what's down there. It's really no telling. So it is.
Did you see that footage? Whatever they found those holes, whatever on the bottom.
Oh, the alien holes.
It's like this bunch of holes, like in just a linear line, just every so many millimeters apart. It's very strange.
Yeah, I saw that. Giant squids are real, according to Kokoshuko Papashango. All right, dude. Vince. Well,
the Kraken.
The Kraken. Release the Kraken. You know, you can't roll your R's. There's really no way of saying that properly. Release the Kraken. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, you look all throughout folklore and you look all throughout all the historical, and it's there's some pretty compelling like overlap, for some of these stories, people like they have no connection to one another, seeing the same thing. I mean, that's pretty significant. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the Michigan Dog Man.
Michigan Dog Man.
Yeah,
okay.
basically a werewolf, but they don't want to call it a werewolf, probably to not seem insane. But they're basically look like, they got dog heads or wolf heads, and they stand on two legs, like that footage you saw. You see that footage from that zoo that they captured, like a werewolf-looking creature in front of that fence at that zoo. I think it was in Texas or something. Recently, it was what's it called? It was like a security system caught like a still of it, and it shows like it almost looks like a furry or a werewolf, and you can see his legs are kind of backwards, and it's just sitting there in front of the fence of the zoo at like 1 in the morning or 1:30 in the morning, I think it was. And if you haven't checked it out, look it up. But
right.
That footage just came. I don't know if it's footage. It's just a still, I think. There was a camera that was panning, and it takes a picture every so many seconds or something.
Yeah.
And it caught this creature. It could be somebody, in a furry suit or whatever, But I don't think so. The way the legs are.
I mean, it's typical cryptids. I mean, there's just never like a straight-on shot there. There's never like footage that's like crystal clear or something. Yeah, I mean, it's like Mitch Hedberg said. He says, "What really bothers me is there's a 7-foot creature out there that's blurry." But yeah, it's the Sasquatch and everything. Hold on, I gotta go, guys.
All right,
have a good one.
Later. I'm gonna show this. You didn't see this footage or this picture of this werewolf thing?
Oh no, hold on, give me a second. What is it?
I'm gonna bring it up.
I bet.
Give me 1 second here.
No problem. Shit.
This damn site isn't loading up. Now it's showing like a half-naked girl. I'm trying to look up a werewolf. Hold on, I got it here.
Let me see.
All right, I think I found a better one.
And it's supposed to be a picture of the dog man?
Well, no one knows what it is. It could be a werewolf, dog man, or whatever, some kind of cryptid.
Okay. Because I only know one dog man, and that's that comic book.
No, it's not that kind of.
Oh shit! It is Dog Man.
You see that shit? This is the still from the security camera at the zoo. and you can see the legs are like bent backwards or whatever, like a canine.
Dang. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. That kind of looks like Smokes.
Or Cheney.
Yeah, one of them.
But I wish there was, more footage or a little bit closer, but still very strange.
Yeah, I feel you on that, man.
But yeah, we're at an hour right now, so I think it's time to wrap it up.
No problem.
Thanks for coming, guys. Make sure you sub if you haven't already. And we'll see you next week, next Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. And I don't know what we're going to talk about next week. Got any ideas?
Actually, no. What topics have you covered?
We did UFOs, Roswell special. We just did the cryptids. We did time travelers, missing people, stuff like that so far. I'll have to think about it, and we'll get back to it.
Yeah, no problem. We could probably think about it in like the next couple of days. These things are like every week.
Yeah, I try to do once a week if I can, if I'm available. But in the future, that's probably going to change because I got to start doing fulfillment soon. So I'm probably not going to be able to do it for like a week or two. But other than that, we'll see.
All right.
All right. Thanks for coming, man.
All right, no problem, man. No problem.
Headline Division, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings.
When I was in England, I experimented with marijuana a time or two, and I didn't like it, and didn't inhale, and never tried it again.